without further ado, I'm going to be going to David Rich. David, welcome back. David, if you would give a quick overview about you and your background, where you came from, how do you get to Blackmore and Blackmore Connects? I'd love to have the audience learn.
Sure. Thanks, Gerald. So I currently work with a number of fintech companies in the payment space in cybersecurity, but also payment acceptance and a variety of other aspects of that involve a lot of artificial intelligence and machine learning on how to execute those and stay one step ahead of everyone else. Prior to that, I was at over 10 years at MasterCard, Executive Vice President, in charge of various economic crime, financial crime products, but also leading the charge on integrating various other products like cybersecurity, crypto, digital currencies, as well as the economic crime. And that followed on the heels of over 12 years at Citi, where I headed up commercial banking for Europe, Middle East, and Africa, and I headed up lending for North America, retail banking, amongst other things. And that was on the heels of 10 years in telecommunications, so on payment systems, actually, funny enough, and I've been involved with that ever since. And one of the things that I've been working on with Blackmore over the last 6 or so months is to define the deal thesis to help narrow down the selection of companies that we might want to jointly invest in. So, formative potential of all these engines, particularly the large language models, there's a diverse applications across all sectors. The criticality of how you prompt the AI engine is absolutely paramount. There are ethical considerations, personal branding. You can create various business strategies. It's not going to go away, right? So getting into it and using it and leveraging it, because everybody else will as well. It's one thing you need to be aware of is competition's using it too. So that's another aspect to this. And it needs.
David, a comment there. Competition is using it. It behooves of executives to get ahead of this by being that much better at many of the things that we're learning here today from David. Your thoughts about that, David?
Yeah. So I was asked a question recently about, well, if everybody's using AI in everything, then how do you differentiate? And it comes down to, if you look at financial services companies in general, just as one example, they are all using AI, but they're not all as successful as each other. So there's good and poor uses of AI. There's better and not as good applications. So on the earlier slide that I showed you, where you could use it for sales and marketing, finance, manufacturing, all these things, and I gave you some engines that you could use and some applications that you could use. Interestingly enough, they're not the only ones out there, and some are better than others because they know how to harness the artificial intelligence better. So it's not just a matter of access to AI; it's a matter of how well do you use it.
Yeah, and part of what I would glean as part of this is it's how good the inputs are. Where are you getting other data? How are you asking it to synthesize it and compare? So the human interface is still very important to AI for now, for sure, right? In applying it to specific context. But it makes me think about Elon Musk talked about in next 3 to 5 years, AI will be smarter than all of any human mind combined, something like that. Do you know the statement?
Yeah,
he said?
Yeah, so smarter in the sense of data, for sure, and ability to organize, synthesize, integrate, articulate, provide value data-driven insights. Yes, there's no doubt it'll be faster than humans. But in terms of emotional intelligence, in terms of interactions and the other thought processes that humans have and others in the animal kingdom have, that'll be a while, if any time soon. So yes, there are going to be some practical limitations. There'll also be some regulatory limitations that will evolve over time, and we start to see that in various jurisdictions. European Union's pretty far ahead of all that. Yeah, so it will continue evolving. There's no doubt about that.
Well, I could be more nefarious, think about how AI could be used to then influence the Europeans who are trying to regulate it, because it's all about policy. Another thing comes to mind, David, is given it moving so fast, if I'm a private equity firm, do I need executives running it? Maybe I could just go and ask the AI all these different inputs about value creation, what we should do here, how we would do there. And the CEO that we think is irreplaceable becomes replaceable or more commoditized. Your thoughts?
They will become more empowered. That's the way I would look at this. Not as a replacement, but as an augmentation.
Augmentation.
So, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, at the end of the day, people still need apply imagination, creativity, connecting the dots in unusual ways that aren't programmed, or not programmed like a computer is. So that ability, and then of course, if you're trying to negotiate, negotiating, I think everybody in the room, everybody on the call has done negotiations of one type or another. And sitting in a room and looking at someone in the eyes and basically having that negotiating moment where you're driving your point home is not going to be replicated by AI anytime soon. Right? So there are limitations, and you'll see when you start using AI along the lines that I've described that you'll see limitations. But again, it's a great way to augment and accelerate some thought processes and to discount some thought processes too. I have this thought, I think I might do this, and then you can run some scenarios about that. And you might find that, and maybe that's not as good as an idea as I thought. I might try some other things, right? So again, you can use it as a sounding board, as a way to get feedback as well.
David, this is great. I know Chris Melton and all the other partners at Blackmore. I do hope that you're and all the staff, I want you watching this webinar. I'm going to be watching it again, David, and I'm going to be unpacking it. And I want to do another webinar, which we're really talking about the whole acquisition process from deal thinking, the thesis to exit, and how to use AI for it. And I'm going to create an outline and we can play with it.
Sure.
And talk about its applications, because this it really expands your brain, right? A thinking partner, augmentation, as you say. And I think this can be explosive, especially for the executives just starting off in the private equity process, to wrap your head around your playbook, to create playbooks for scenarios that are upcoming in economic conditions and whatnot. Supply chain, we can begin to theorize on this. So I'll be writing that up for you, David, and then we can
Fantastic.
create.
I look forward to it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.